Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Gabriel Brent, and with me I have William. William, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. So we are going to be sharing with you in the app of Swing Pub. This is a weekly session that we like to do just to share our collaborative mindset into the Forex markets and just what has happened over the past week, to kind of review our predictions and what we were seeing last week, as well as to look at what's going to be happening next week. So this isn't just about, like here and now, but this is actually forecasting. So let's go ahead and get started here. First off, let us start off with the top of the section here. And I'm going to go ahead and take these first few markets, and then I'm going to let William take the last half of the markets. All right. And we're looking at the Forex markets in a whole perspective, I guess you could say, as we're covering multiple pairs. And just so everybody knows where we're kind of coming from, we got a weekly, a daily, and a 60-minute chart. Okay. So what we're looking for in all of this is we are looking to see a multiple time confluence that gives us a great entry based upon the ideas of support and resistance and supply and demand trading. If you're unfamiliar with our perspective of how we see things, then please go check out the Apazones website, and you can learn more about our trend following techniques. Okay. The other thing that I was going to share with you guys today is some of our elite version of the software that we are in the final stages of development with, which automatically defines our trend and things of that nature for us, so that we can use a total of about 10 criteria, and when it's all said and done, to define what the trend is on a particular market and how we can get involved. Okay, so with all of that being said, let's get into the markets here, and don't forget, as always with trading, there is a substantial risk of loss. So please don't do anything until you've really proven out your system in a good statistical analysis of backtesting and sim trading. So looking at the big weekly perspective, it looks like we're getting a good size retracement. I'm really watching that aqua level quite heavily, just because I think that has some interesting qualities. If we look at the daily and the weekly together, you can see as I draw that rectangle on the two charts, it just like automatically pops up in that fractal time frame confluence of zones comes into play right there. So I think something is definitely interesting. It is stair stepping down out of that weekly area there, so I want to be mindful of that, but I'm really looking for price to push down into that level before we get the retracement app back up on the big weekly time frame. And right now, according to the trend is up and trending. So we're just looking at the pullback. That's all we're seeing right now. It's just a pullback. So nothing more than that right there. So as far as ideas of entry areas and stuff, we could wait for the weekly and daily level, which that has the highest level of confluence in there. If we go into our 60-minute areas or zones, we can probably see some confluence down there as well. Okay, so you can see where those zones line up. So that would be interesting. You could, if you really want to, and if you want to really be aggressive, you could wait for price action to fail here and then take it to the long side based upon a failure of price action to break this low down here. Okay, but you need to know how to enter that position well if you're going to try something like that. Okay, so we talk a little bit more about that in the Apazones education and trend follow system, but it could stop here. It's stopping right before a bigger time frame zone, so I just don't think it will. Okay, so moving right along, going over to the Aussie Swiss. All right, we've been moving down here, and we just made a new low. Okay, so that's something that's pretty cool and new. All right, and I think that is fairly interesting there. All right, so I'm gonna say that the trend is gonna keep on going because we've kind of moved outside of the rangy area. Let's just see how low we can go. All right. You're kind of right in the middle as far as the weekly is concerned. I would say still wait. We drew out some lines here from last time, and I still feel like that's what we're waiting for. You know, we're still waiting for the top of this pullback area before we can continue on in the trend to the downside. But right now we're kind of in the middle. All right. It made a new low on this one as well. All right. And looks like we're down in rangy according to our trend criteria here. And you can kind of see some of the features of software. I'm not going to really talk about this trend criteria software too much right now, just because it's brand new and it's really amazing, but we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, and we're more interested in the analysis than we are the software right now. So looking at this thing, we are coming down, and we've already hit weekly demand. So I think that's why we're really getting kind of into that rangy feel, is because we have hit major demand, and we're kind of in the middle here. So if you're looking for the counter trend, you know, it could happen because we're in a weekly demand, but actually your trend follow play is to the downside. So I would say we have to wait until it rallies back up. So for the short term, you know, we could come back up here a little bit, and I think that's okay. But will that happen? You know, I don't know. But that's fresh demand down here, and this is being pulled off of a level that was formed back in 2012 from the weekly chart. So this is a pretty old level, okay? And knowing that it's right there, I'm not surprised to see some type of reaction off of this level, to be quite honest. So before the trend continues, I would want to see a bounce to the upside and then down. So right now, your counter trend play is to the long, your trend follow play is to the south side, but it's a matter of finding a good entry. You could take the long just above this green line here, basically bouncing it or taking the money bounce off of this aqua level. That would be one way to do it, but only price action will tell us and confirm that when and if that happens. Okay. So let's keep on moving here through the Aussie yen. Oh, I guess I am on the Aussie yen. So let's switch down here to the Aussie dollar. We had a nice trend line drawn on the weekly chart. Trend is down. We've been going through some range here. We had a breakthrough, but now we're kind of back into the range. Okay. So our trend is down and rangy again. All right, so looking at this thing as we see price bouncing back and forth, this really isn't a bad level on the daily level to be looking for price to respond to this. We can see that we put in the trend line there. We saw like a nice little money bounce off the trend line. Kablam. All right, and now it's retesting it again. More than likely, the trend line is probably not going to hold another retest of it. Just saying. Okay. That's all that I'm looking for from a trend line and a zone bounce is right there. All right. And it has done its thing. It's moved down and we're kind of back into the range. We have made a new low here. We've put this zone into place. I'm kind of still feeling like it's really in the range, like it's right back into the range. We need to wait and see how things go before looking to go either direction. Okay, so we have fresh demand down here, and you can kind of see what we're battling there. Okay, so I hope that makes a little bit of sense. But I would say just wait on that one. Um, Prices responded to it to the upside a little bit, and we'll just see how it goes. All right, so moving over to the euro pound. Uh, Euro pound is up, and we've been watching this big weekly level here for major supply, and it's trying to do it. It's really trying to do it. So we're going to see if it can't do that. As I recall, we had the check mark trade go on. So just this little down push and then back up. And we made new highs in this market, and that looks all really well and good. So really excited about that check mark trade happening there. If you guys remember this from a few weeks ago, this was pretty cool. If we're starting to see a little bit of resistance here, but the trend is still up and trending. So don't let this stop you from thinking, hey, like, why can't price come up just a little bit higher and touch like this chocolate zone and this weekly level just up above? Okay, so the question is, how do you get on board? All right, well, how you get on board is by finding a good area of supports. All right, right now we're just bouncing off of a daily resistance level. So the way to find a good support level would be using your smaller time frame and looking for a nice like money bounce like this, where we're bouncing off an aqua level. It's turned its blue, and now it looks like it could come back up here a little ways to the next zone that's just above it. Now, if this is truly the case, then if you're taking it as is leaving the zone, you had some decent risk to reward on this thing. All right, you're risking 28 to bank about 60, so that's that's actually pretty good, and that's pretty awesome. But that's kind of what I would be looking at, and we'll see if that continues on there or not. But just remember where the trend direction is and run it with the trend. So. All right, so I think I've done a few markets here. William, you feel like taking command here and running?
Yeah. I'll take control here and do the rest of the markets for you.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we're at euro pound. All right. Let's go look at the euro dollar. All right. I like to blow my charts up. Give me a second here. All right. Here we are on the euro dollar. Again, you can see the most current trend here on the weekly chart. We've been range bound. We're back up at the top of the range now. You can see we got up into the weekly zone here and got a reaction off of it. It seems like it's being respected, and we're falling back out of it again, as you could expect, because the trend is sideways, range bound. So we got to the top of the range again. Now we're falling back down. Let's go check the daily chart out. And here we are on the daily. Here we are. These are the two zones that were at the top of the range. I'm pretty sure these zones would have been inside of that weekly zone. And you can see that price got up to this blue zone here, respected it, fell out of it. Now we're back down here into the bottom. We actually pierced through this fresh demand zone, came back in a little bit, but you can expect the price to keep falling through this since it pierced through it. Plus we're heading down off the top of the range, so expect price to go lower, at least down here to this next fresh aqua zone down here at 109. You know, so that's pretty much my thoughts on that market.
It seems like this could be a real big turnaround off that weekly level. Like we've been in such a range on Euro USD for a while. Like if we can find good support and demand here, right, kind of in the middle, as we've finally seen a breakout to the upside, like this could be major. Like getting one of those levels back down there where all that chop was off the daily, like that would be huge to take it back up there to the upside.
Oh yeah.
So I would really be looking to do something there. It just seems like it's really kind of getting primed to do so, you know. So especially like off that aqua level, or yeah, I like that next aqua level. It's getting a little whippy as far as respecting the current aqua level that it's in, but it just dipped below, so that little level didn't hold, but still it's I think it's shown its true colors, and we might be moving from an area of range maybe into an area of trending to the upside now. So that's what I would be looking for, you know. How do you jump on board? And right now it looks like since it's pierced through that little daily support level, that it could come back down even lower to like that 90 level, wouldn't you think? Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. I expected to come at least back down to 109, or we could find some support here at the top of these wicks here, like 110. We could see some support. We might get a flip flop off these wicks here. If not, then the next obvious area of interest would be below 10 at 109 or below it. So, all right. Okay, let's take a look at the pound Aussie. Here we are, pound Aussie. Nice downtrend we're in. Price came back up into this weekly zone, fell out, made a low, made a lower low, came right back up into that zone right at the beginning of it, and fell right back out of it again, made another lower low. So this thing is, the trend is intact. We're in a strong downtrend on this. Let's take a look at the daily. And as you can see here at the, let's go back. Let me highlight that weekly zone. Highlight this thing. And all right, here we go. And as you can see, here's our weekly zone that I have highlighted, and you can see this purple zone right below it, or that's kind of halfway in and halfway out of it. Price came right back into this zone, on this daily zone that's nested within the weekly, right at the border, right at the edge of it, and signifying sellers again, and we fell out of it again. So if you're looking to take an entry, maybe a week ago or whenever it might have been you were looking at this pair, if you were looking at it, you want to go short up in here, and as you can see, it played in your favor very well, as this trend has been being respected the whole way down. Like every zone in this trend on the daily has been respected time after time after time, over and over and over again. So, you want to go short when you got back up in here. You've been up, you probably would have been in and out of your position by now because, this thing, it has big ATR on this pair. All the pounds have big ATRs, you know, so could have made you some money on this pair if you'd have got in on it last week or whenever it was you got in if you were looking at it. So,
You know, actually, that kind of reminds me of something here. I actually snapped some pictures of a couple of these pairs and how they lined up over the past week here.
hmm
Because it was just a beautiful, beautiful fall. Sorry about the right there. Actually, I was thinking it was this market, but take that back. It wasn't this one. It was actually the Aussie CAD, you know, and,
uh-huh.
and just looking at just this beautiful fall, and I was just like, man, this is just awesome stuff, and
Yeah,
for some reason I was thinking it was this particular pair, so sorry about that, but
that's all right.
uh,
Probably got it mixed up because it has Aussie in it, just not the one you was looking for.
right, right.
I do that. I do that sometimes too, man. It's easy to get them mixed up, man. They all sound alike, but yeah. So you know, shorts are the trend's still intact here on the Aussie pound, the pound Aussie. Shorts are the way to go. You know, look for this pair. We're even getting a reaction off this daily demand down here. It hasn't touched it yet, but it's kind of reacting off of it. But I expect it to at least get down in here as we're still in the downtrend before we see an even bigger pullback. Like you see, all these pullbacks are pretty, you know, pretty pretty big moves back up to find resistance and then back down. They're all pretty nice retracements, except for this one. But even it was, if you measure from this low to this high, that's probably, I don't know, that's 700 pips right there. So 650 to 700 pips. So that's a pretty big retracement back up. So, you know, expect this to retrace in the same fashion it's been retracing in before you look to sell it again. All right. Let's go to pound New Zealand. And on this pair, you can see price it's been moving down. We've been in a downtrend. We got a reaction off the weekly supply level here, just barely kind of wicked in on the weekly here, and we fell back out of it. But this market's been moving down, but it's been moving down in range type fashion. Been making lower lows. You can see the lows being created week by week by week, but it's kind of choppy. You can see because just by the candles on the weekly, you can tell that it's kind of consolidated. Let's go over to the daily and zoom in on that a little better. And even here, like on Gabe's trend criteria here, it's down in range. It's saying, and scroll over and you can see where we've been stuck in between two daily levels here, back and forth, kind of, uh, you know, came down, almost touched this brown daily, back up in the daily supply, made a daily supply level here, but kind of been chopped around in it for a while, fell out of it, came back down as daily demand, and now back and forth between this yellow daily supply and this brown daily demand again, chopping away, but making lower lows the whole way down. So down and rangy, um, you know, you want to I would stay away from the counter trend play back to the upside and just look for, entries to short because you want to trade with the trend, obviously. And, you know, if you were to do so, pretty sure you'll find some good entries and be able to make you some pips out of this thing on the way down versus playing the counter trend back up. But, hey, if you're, more aggressive, like to, you know, play the little riskier side of trading, that, that's fine. But me personally, I would like to stay out of it and just look to sell this in the direction of trend. All right. New Zealand dollar. And here on the weekly, you can see we were in a range market again, down and rangy here on the weekly. Brown zone's been being respected quite a bit here. Came back to touch this not new, but this blue weekly supply zone. Fell out of it. Now we're like basically in the middle of a range again. Let's take a look at the daily. And as you can see, here we are. Seems that we came up out of this brown chocolate zone here. Didn't quite get back to the top of the range here in this other brown chocolate supply zone or daily resistance level, but kind of got a reaction off of these lows over here in a flip-flop manner. This low, this low, this low. Kind of, maybe it overshot it a little bit, but kind of say it respected this flip-flop area. Created a new supply and got a reaction off of it, and now we're back up in here. So, me personally, I don't know if I would take any entries at this time, just because I know we're in the middle of the range. But who knows? It might work out in your favor if you were to take a short off of this daily supply level here. But I just don't know. What do you think, Gabe? Oh, you got something here going on here.
Yeah, I got a little something. So this was a little swing trade position to the south side, just playing the range and playing the top of the range. So you're basically just looking at playing the fresh daily level, and then just taking the first target at the first 60-minute level. Second target can be down there at the bottom of the brown range that we have right there, or the chocolate zone, if you will. So that's what I'm looking for. Is I'm just looking for this thing to continue on down. So just managing those runners on this particular one, hoping that we can get it, because this was the top of the weekly range right up there. So this wasn't too bad to take it to the downside, and so far so good. It got a T1, but we'll see how far it goes after that.
So you feel that price is respecting this flip flop area enough that you take a short?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's what I did, and we'll see. I'll let you know how it goes.
All right.
But
even that entry up here at the top of at the area of the flip flop is, that's a good entry. I don't have a problem with that. It's just now that we're here, like, I don't, maybe I missed the bus on my entry there, but I probably I would, because I will, because I'm not even in on a trade on this pair. I will wait for a better entry, so, but yeah, like, you feel it's going to go back down at least to the top of this chocolate zone again?
That's the idea. And
right.
if it does, then I'll be singing T2. But it doesn't really matter what I do. But I just thought I would share with you guys just some of the stuff that happened over this previous week, and I thought it was interesting. So here's kind of a before and after type of glimpse.
Yeah, good trade, man. All right, let's take a look at the dollar yen, and come on, blow up. There we go. And you can see dollar yen. This thing was in a range on the weekly here for quite a while. We broke through the bottom of the range, made a new low here. So now, as Gabe has illustrated on the chart, you can see he has a little blue line drawn down, indicating that we're starting a downtrend, making lower lows, lower highs, lower low. Looks like we're, the market's paused for a little bit. Might make a new lower high up here, maybe in this flip-flop area, and then back down. Who knows? But yeah. So the dollar yen's starting a downtrend. Let's look at a daily here, and as you can see, uh, I remember talking about this wick over here for quite a few weeks, trying to find a reaction off of it. We did. Came back up, stopped here, and we've been falling uh, all last week and part of the week before last, and we find ourselves down here. Go ahead, Gabe.
I just really like that aqua zone, man. That just looks so pretty. Like right where that previous support was, now it's resistance. It's
hmm
absolutely awesome. So
hmm Yeah, I look. You know, you want price to hit these zones. You want to see price come up and respect these zones because that's part of our game plan. But also, you know, price likes to respect these flip flop areas a lot too. You know, I me personally, I look at these flip flops almost as if they're like zones. Uh, I put them into my analysis, and I kind of figure them into my ideas for where price is going to react next. If it doesn't get to this zone, I always look to see if price is going to react off these flip flops because they do quite a bit. Even over here, you can see how price came down. Let's see if there's a dead zone over here. Uh, there's a dead zone right there. But this zone coincides with all this chop over here, the top of this range that this thing was in for quite a while back here, you know, and it came down. So that's a prime example of a flip flop right there. Bam, you see it happen right there. And it came down, respected, came back up, got to this zone. Boom, we got our fall down to this zone. Didn't quite get back up to this zone, but look where it reacted. Again, flip flop. Here's a zone here. It overshot it. I guess you can say this is a flip flop zone here. Overshot it a little bit. Now look, find ourselves falling, falling, falling. Finally found a little bottom down here, made a low, and I don't know, kind of look like we're in a little consolidation area here. But yeah, I feel like I would like to see price get back up to this aqua zone before I see it fall again. But who knows? It might keep falling from here.
hmm
It might come back down in this zone, pop back up into this zone, then fall. But the downtrends in play, you want to look to short this when you find entries, areas of the chart, and entry signals to signal you in to get short on this. So, but yeah, that's about it. Is there any more pairs? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Unless you want to go into some of these equities markets, but I don't know if you want to do all that.
I think that's about it, guys. So thanks a lot for joining us. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you in the next video.